Welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. We had a big cleanup this week. We had a whole lot of building materials, guttering, wire, planks of wood, all that kind of stuff sitting over in an area near the shed. Originally it had been on the old slab where the shed is now, but in the preparations for building the shed we sort of haphazardly moved it away to a different spot fairly close by on some grass, and it had kind of spread out. We weren't really sure what was there. We'd used some of it, so some of the things that were like a full cubby house or something that we'd retrieved off Gumtree was no longer complete. So we kind of went through it all, trashed the stuff that we didn't need anymore and put it on the bonfire. And then went through the stuff that was still in good condition. Some of it we moved to other parts of the farm because we've now earmarked them for particular projects, and everything else we've neatly stacked in one small corner, which is now much tidier. Hopefully won't be a home for snakes or spiders or things like that, and we will be easily able to find what we're looking for to build things in the future. Like the planks that we put on top of the pallet garden beds. We were just talking about wanting to do that and went to our supply of wood, and we were able to find the perfect match for putting on top of those boxes. Speaking of the veggie boxes, the vegetables are making really good progress. I'm so pleased with how they're going. It's been less than a month and we have had them grow quite a bit. The spring onions all have quite large shoots now. The snow peas are starting to wind around the trellis that I've set up for them. And I have split the rocket into, now there are 6 little sections of them. I'm going to have to split them again once they sort of get a bit stronger, but I just needed to give them a little bit more room to grow. I haven't split the leek yet. It's still quite small and I don't want to damage it. So once they get to being a little bit thicker, then I will split them out so that they have room to grow properly as well. I've also added in some cauliflower, and at the moment I'm experimenting with the end of a celery that we had bought from the shop. I've cut it off and I'm just sitting it in a bowl of water on the kitchen windowsill at the moment to see if it's going to sprout. And if it does look like it will sprout, then I will also pop that into the veggie patch as well. So over the winter we'll just continue with the 2 boxes, but I think that for our spring and summer plantings we'll probably need to add a 3rd box also so we can do some crop rotation as well. What we've also done is a special potato box. So you start with 1 layer of boards and a little bit of soil in your potato, and once it sprouts up and is quite tall, you then put another layer of boards and more of the soil, and you just keep covering and covering it and make it taller and taller. And then what you can do is you just pull the bottom board out and you can harvest those potatoes, and the rest of the plant keeps growing, and then you have potatoes in each of the layers. So hopefully that works. So we just started out with it, and I can give you some progress once we've got a few more of the boards on. We're into the second half of early winter and we're getting some really beautiful days. The skies are amazingly blue right now. It's lovely to still be walking in the paddocks. It's a little bit wet underfoot. Still seeing a lot of different fungus and toadstools, and it's really lovely to go for a walk in the bush. Although the days have been lovely, there have been some quite cold nights already, and we have had 1 frost. So we've had the fire going a little bit. So something that is a regular task now and will be all the way through winter, even though we've been prepared and we have been collecting wood over the summer and autumn, is regular runs to get more firewood. We have the 3 hutches by the house and they're all reasonably full. And we have big tubs that we collect kindling in, but that all runs out quite quickly. So we've been doing regular runs into the bush to find fallen trees to get more wood. We are really lucky that we have quite a large area of bushland and we don't need to cut down live trees. There are plenty of fallen trees that we're able to access, and we make sure to also leave some fallen trees behind so that there are places for the animals to live and so that the logs break down and can contribute back to the soil as well. So we find that balance between collecting what we need but also leaving some for the future as well. Felt like I needed a bit of a knitting pellet cleaner this week, so I went to my go-to project, and that is a pair of socks. And I haven't had socks on the needles for quite a while, which is really rare for me. So I've cast on, and already I've done almost a whole sock in less than a week, and only in really short bursts. I think it was just, I was just starting to really enjoy just the go of knitting on a sock. For me, socks are really rhythmical and they are relaxing, and I really don't have to think. Even with the heel, it does take a little bit more concentration perhaps, but I know the heel off by heart now. This is the Fish Lips Kiss heel that I always use in my socks. I have the same pattern, well, I guess it's not really a pattern, my own recipe now. So I cast on 10 stitches at the toe, increase it every other round until I get to 26 stitches on each needle, and then I just knit until I get to the length of the sock that I want for my foot, pop my heel in, and then just knit up a cuff until I feel like casting off, and then I do the same again. With stripy yarn, this one is from Wangaratta Woolen Mills. It was a mill end. I don't know the colorway, I don't know how much I even got of it. I've got at least another skein, and it just seems to keep going and going. So I'm going to have lots of pink and grey stripy socks. With striping yarn, it's really quite easy to keep track, which is nice. You don't have to really think about the number of rows you've done or anything. I always start, I think I've shown this before, I always start with the end of the previous colour. You can see there is pink here on the very end and a very thin pink row here, so that the cast on starts one side pink and one side with the grey. So then I should be able to get the second sock to match up 100% with this one. I've inserted the heel when I got to the end of the pink stripe here, so I know where to put my heel in, and I've used the opposite end of the ball to do the heel so that the colours on the front stay in pattern all the way through. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.